All right, so we have our front done, and now we just build the legs. So let's get to it. What I'm going to do that is I want to click on the right-hand side of my model and take a look at here. I'm going to create a sketch on this one right here. And now I can just start sketching. So all I'm going to do here is take a line tool and sketch straight down to the bottom, and then do another line tool straight over to, oh, this one's a little lower. All right, so we got to figure that one out. So this one actually came underneath. I should have extruded forward, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. So we're going to click here. Now, this is at a weird angle that we don't want. So here's some things that we're going to try and do. So we're going to take this tool right here, which says horizontal vertical, and we're going to click on this, and it's going to make it horizontal for us. See how it stretched this side down? And now I think that's it. That's good. Awesome. Had I paid better attention, I should have extruded this first piece. I should have extruded it this way so it doesn't go below the plane. But that ended up working okay. And now what we need to do is we need to create tabs that will connect the side leg onto the face. And we're going to make those tabs 2 thicknesses into here. So they're going to go like across and over here. So let's do that real quick. To do that, I'm actually going to hide the other pieces. Oh, we never named the top face. We'll do that later. So I'm going to hide those 3 faces, those pieces. And I'm going to create, I'm going to draw a line from this corner to this corner. And now that's my side piece. I need to make tabs on it. So to make rectangles and tabs, I need to do it with the 3-point rectangle tool because my line is tipped at an angle. And this way I can make a rectangle. So I'm going to go down this line some. And then, I don't know how far I want to go. Like, say, 1.75. 2, 1.75. And then I'm going to click on that line, and then I'm going to come up, and I'm going to call this thickness. But I want 2 thicknesses, so I'm going to thickness times 2. And I'm going to click enter. So now I've got my tab built. I want to put this tab right in the middle and then build out from there. So I'm going to grab my center or my midpoint tool. I'm going to click on the large line, and then I'm going to hold the click down for a second or 2 until I find the right one that I want. So it's not totally clear. Let's do it this way. So I'm going to escape out of that tool. The hard thing is that I've got 2 lines. I've got the little line, that line. That's the line I want. And I want to make it midpoint on the big line there. Awesome. And now I need to do a rectangular pattern tool. So I'm going to move this escape out of the midpoint tool. I'm going to move this marker just kind of out of the way here. And this one kind of, maybe I'll move it. So hard to grab stuff sometimes. Okay, great. So now I've got it out of the way so I can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to do a create rectangular pattern. And I'm going to choose these 3 pieces. Now because I'm patterning at an angle, obviously going this way doesn't help me. Going this way also doesn't help me. What I want to do is I want to go along this line. So I just do directions and I tell it I want to go along this line. Now my arrows go along this line and this is helpful. So this one is this section because this number is changing. So I'm going to do symmetric here. And uh-oh, I don't think 5 will work. Don't want to get too close to the ends. I think that might be okay. That looks kind of decent. I might actually change this to 1.5 when I'm done. Let me check that. Click OK. These are a little too wide for my taste. I'm going to actually change this to 1.5. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Okay. And now all I need to do is extrude this. So I need to extrude this piece. And then all of, oh my gosh, there's so many little ones in here. Awesome. And now I'm going to turn everything back on because it's going to be important which direction it extrudes. So So if I look at this, I need to extrude it back into it, not out towards me. I need to go back to the left here. So I'm going to do here as a negative. Oh my gosh, it's so clicky. A negative thickness. Enter. And you can see it's trying to cut back into it. It thinks I want to cut, but I don't want to cut. I want to create a new body. I'll do the cutting later. And I'm going to click OK. And now that I've done that, I'm going to actually call this the top. And then this one, the new thing I just created is right side, our side. Awesome. Now I need another one of these on that side. So I could go ahead and recreate just the way I did, or I can do something really easy. Hit the M for move key, click on the side here, come down here and say create a copy, and then I can just, I'm going to go to the back view so I can see it clearly. I can just grab this one arrow and drag it this way, almost into place, and I'm just going to say enter for OK. Now to get it exactly in the right place, I'm going to tip to the side so I can see it. Hit my align tool. I'm going to grab the side that I want to move, which is this one. I'm not going to grab it on one of the dots. I'm going to grab it out in the middle somewhere. And then I'm going to identify the same thing with one of these faces. I don't want to be on a line or an edge. I want to be right here in the middle kind of by itself. And then click there. And now it's lined it up. Oh, but I'm seeing a problem here. I just blocked the opening with this thing. So I'm going to click OK, and we're going to have to fix that. So it looks like there are all tabs that need to be reduced. So it looks like, well, let's just hide the middle layer. No, let's hide the base and the top layer. Okay, there we go. Now we can see which ones. So this one's fine because it's not blocking the opening, but these three need to get reduced a little bit. So to do that, what I'll do is, the easiest way to do it is actually just using a push-pull. I'm going to do press-pull, and I'm going to try to click on all three of these faces. And I need to just move them back down, so negative thickness, one layer, and then click OK. Awesome. This is the power of doing it like you can see what you're doing in 3D modeling, so you can say, oh, look, that didn't line up like I thought it would. I made that mistake. And now when I look over here, now these are only, see if I can get an angle that looks good. Yeah. These are only one thickness deep, so now nothing is blocking this opening. And the top looks good too. Awesome. I didn't even realize that was going to happen, so that's kind of cool to see that happen. Okay, so now what's next? We need to cut the tabs into the face. So we're going to do a combine tool, and we're going to say, hey, the target bodies are, well, it's got to be two of them. So we're going to do them in two different steps, I guess, because we can only have one target body at a time. The tool bodies is this one and this one, and instead of join, we want cut. And instead, we want to say keep our tools afterwards, and we're going to say OK. Now what that did is it cut a tab into this first base layer, but we need to cut the tabs into the second layer as well. So we've got to do that all over again, except this time we're going to choose this mid layer here. And you can either choose it from your drawing or you can choose it from the bodies list over here on the side. So there's my mid layer, and I'm going to cut it with the right side and that side, and then say OK. And now you can see if I move my leg out of the way, you can see the tabs are cut in where they're supposed to be. So I'm going to cancel that to put it back in place. And then I'm going to actually come over here and label my right side L side, the one I created. Awesome. So now we're doing great. We've got this nice looking deal. Now right now these legs would be pretty weak because they'd be able to get squished in and ruined. So we're going to actually create a stabilizing piece right across the back here. To do that, I'm going to model it in kind of a weird way. I'm going to start it here and extrude it out the length of the piece of wood. I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to create a sketch here on one of the sides. It doesn't matter which one. At the bottom here, I'm going to create a rectangle that is thickness wide, and then tall, it's going to be, I don't know, let's call it 3.5. And now I'm going to extrude this. And I'm going to extrude it to the other side. So here where it says distance, extrude extent, or extent type, I'm going to say to object. And I'm going to click on the outside of this face. And now it just extended that all the way through, which is a nice way of doing it when you don't know the exact number. And instead of cut, I want to have a new body. And I want to click OK. And then I'm going to click here and call this one support. And then before we move on, we need to cut some joints into the support. So I'm going to hide everything but the support. I'm going to create a sketch on the face of the support. And I'm going to put in I'm going to cut in some rectangles. So I'm just going to do this sort of by eye. I'm going to go here. That side should be thickness because that's what it's supposed to be. And I'm going to do maybe 0.75. I'm going to do one of those there and one at the bottom. So thickness there, 0.75 there, and then maybe one more in the middle. And I'm going to go thickness there and tab to 1 centimeter. I'm going to center this one on this line. Then I don't like the 0.75. I think it's too big. I'm going to go with 0.5. That's half of the tab. Enter. And double click here and 0.5 here. Everything's super easy to mess with. And when I pull this in, I can see that looks pretty good. So I'll cut away all 3 of these and leave those 2 tabs. So now I'll come over here and do the same thing on this side. So over here, we've got thickness 0.5. And then thickness and 0.5 here. And then in the middle, we're just going to have one thickness, tab 1, and then here and here, just line it up. Midpoint tool to line it up. Okay, so that's all good. Now we just need to extrude it, and we're going to cut this away, and this. And we're going to call this negative thickness. That'll give us a cut, just to make sure. Yes, awesome. And we're going to click OK. Now, last thing we need to do is cut the holes for these tabs and the 2 leg pieces. So I'm going to turn on the left side and the right side. And I'm going to say, OK, we want to cut this one with that one. And I'm going to say OK. Now we want to do a combine tool. We want to cut this one with this one. I'm going to say OK. And now we have all the tabs cut in. And we are ready to break it down. So in the next video, we'll break this thing down flat and then create some cut lines, and then we're off to the laser. Awesome job. Keep going.